So, here we are. Hello, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Clint Zoka. Welcome back to another My Thoughts on. Today I'll be doing my thoughts on the 2018 remake I don't know, film based on the classic books by Beatrix Potter. I'm going to review Peter Rabbit. I think the first thing I should make clear is that this movie, for some reason, is actually getting quite mixed reviews, which is not really what I expected. I expect this film to be terrible, get way worse scores and reviews than what I'm seeing. There's controversy. It has a really big cast for something as timeless, and yet... Okay. I'll get into better detail. So yeah, I really wasn't looking forward to this movie, like, at all. In fact, it looked terrible. First trailer, awful. The second trailer was better, but not by much. Third trailer went back to first trailer being terrible again. Funny thing is, this movie, despite being British, actually came out in America before us. Strange, I know. It's like how Paddington came out in the UK for us since it's a British film, but so is Peter Rabbit, but I think it's an American film by Sony Pictures Animation. And yeah, we get a couple of films released early before they do with Sony, but they think Peter Rabbit, oh, Americans will love it. I'm pretty sure everyone in America, or most people anyways, will know what Peter Rabbit is or Beatrix Potter, but over here, it's kind of an icon, like Paddington. However, Paddington 1 and 2, wonderful films. This one, yeah, let's get into it. So the film's directed by Will Gluck, who also directed the 2014 Annie reboot, which I thought was just mediocre and okay. Pretty much the same thing with this one. Again, I will get into detail. So what's the plot? The plot of Peter Rabbit is about Peter Rabbit voiced by really blatant choice of James Corden, with his family, Flopsy, voiced by Margot Robbie, Mopsy, Cottontail, voiced by Daisy Ridley, and their cousin, Benjamin, who wants to get into McGregor's garden and steal all their food because they're rabbits. However, since the old John McGregor passed away, who was also played by Sam Neill, his nephew, Thomas McGregor, played by Donald Gleason, has to get out of his job at a toy shop so he can go down to the farm, or not the farm, sorry, his house, to earn a living in order to make his own toy shop. While he's there, he meets up with B, or I think it's supposed to be Beatrix Potter, played by Rose Byrne, who he has a crush for. So it's up to Peter and the gang to stop him from either A, trying to get out with her, B, trying to stop him from getting rid of them, and oh god, this movie is choppy as hell. Let me get to the problem. This movie is predictable. I know it's a kid's film, but really, what else do you expect from something called Peter Rabbit? If it's trying to be like Paddington, try and put in some thought into it and charm and heart. This movie, not really. I'll talk about the comedy. The comedy, while it isn't strong, is decent. The only thing that's keeping the comedy good is Cottontail, Benjamin, some of the side characters, and definitely Mr. McGregor. Not John McGregor, Thomas McGregor. This movie also has It's also trying to pull off like some really sad emotion here. There are some that do work, like how they say sorry is when they put their heads between them, which I thought been done before, but alright, I'll go on with it. That's quite good. That's better than saying just saying sorry, but there are scenes in the film I thought this could have been really good if they didn't ruin it with possibly one of the most juvenile jokes and comedy ever. Seriously. Every joke in the film is repeated, it plays a part, and it's just not even funny. Okay, it's like 20% funny, but the other 70% is just cringy, unnecessary, and just unfunny. Yep, this movie goes full Smurfs. However, if I have to give the film credit, it's funny at times, and it does have a couple of investments, and you could tell that the director didn't want to just make a kids' film. He wanted to add some new twists and some new material, which he kind of does, even though the film again is predictable. But Peter thinks it's all about the garden, and then you realise it's not just about him; it's about family. That's not a spoiler. That's generally what happens. If you think stop spoiling the film, it's what you expect from something called Peter Rabbit. So yeah, execution-wise is just meh. So yeah, plot, nothing special. Humour, funny at times. If Beatrix Potter saw the plot and the humour and how it all went down and how so goddamn modern it is, I think she would probably hate it. CGI and animation. You heard me. Animation. Yep. Like animation films like Pixar and all that. However, this animation is actually pretty much what I expect from like the book. Even though I've not read the books, it looks a bit like the books. And then they show us at the beginning and in the credits, and I thought, why can't they make the whole film like that? That would have been so good, but they have to go with this really generic looking film. But to give the film credit where credit is due, visually it looks appealing. Like the countryside of McGregor's house and Bee's house looks nice. It looks like general Britain. It looks like a farm from what I know, but I know it isn't really. The CGI and the rabbit actually look pretty good. They look better than E.B. and his father from Hop, which just looked... Bleh. That's a story for another time. The rest of the animals don't look like anything special, but they look, again, appealing. That's the one when I can describe the CGI and the visuals. It just looks appealing. The chase scenes involving the bunnies, McGregor, Mr. Todd's, is really engaging thanks to Dominic Lewis's score with the movie. If it wasn't for the score, I think the chase scenes would just be like just average, I suppose. But that's the only thing. That's one of the few things that just keeps the film not boring. It's just everything flying, the CGI and all of that. It's just there's so much going on, but it's a little bit fun, I suppose, with its chase scenes. So yeah, CGI not the best, but pretty good. But I just wish the whole thing was animated. Characters, of course, gotta start with the ones I like the most. And the only character throughout the film I actually feel a little bit of sympathy for is Thomas McGregor. Sure, he may look like an asshole or just a guy who's sort of down on his luck, but I'm kind of siding with the bad guy. He wants to open a toy shop. He doesn't have enough money because he's fired. He wants to impress this girl. I'm not sure if he has a habit for disliking animals, because I really do not remember much of the film. I think he does anyways, but he wants to get rid of the rabbit so he can, learn a little bit more about Bee and all that. Not only is he interesting, but he's actually quite funny, thanks to Domhnall Gleeson's performance. If it was someone else, I think it wouldn't work out, but Domhnall Gleeson with the way he portrays the character is good. I actually think he's a perfect choice. So same with B. I think she's pretty good as well. She's charming, lovely, funny, and she's a good caretaker to the rabbits. Excuse me. Speaking of the rabbits, if I had to have one favourite, it'd probably have to be Benjamin. Let's say he's more like the voice of reason. Like, whenever Peter does something, he'll say, oh, you can't do that. And when he says a joke, he'll say, don't explain the joke. And I'm like, this character is the voice of reason. I can relate to both of these characters. Maybe B as well so much. And those three are the ones that stand out. Okay, maybe Cottontail, who's voiced by Daisy Ridley as well, but she's, that. Flopsy Mopsy are basically just twin characters. They do have funny moments, and to be fair, the rabbits are quite cute. Yeah, it's what you expect from a film like this, but I can't help it, they do look adorable. And then lastly, we have the main character, Peter Rabbit. As a character, I think he could have been better. For his role in the film, I think he's basically just the leader who thinks he's great, but realizes there's more to family than there is to taking someone else's garden. Again, it may be a spoiler, but that's pretty much what you expect from a film like this. I didn't really care much about Peter, even though I did want Thomas McGregor to take him down, but I don't know. I really do not remember much of the film for him. I remember he's the leader. He likes to joke about when a serious moment is happening. For example, the controversy where they throw a blackberry into McGregor's mouth. Silence. And then he ruins it and people start laughing. This movie's played out for, laughs. It's not timeless storytelling or anything. It's just, hey look, rabbits are cute, they're telling stories. Okay, the voice acting in this movie is actually pretty good. Even if I've not seen the show, I've only seen the CGI show. I haven't seen the 2D hand-drawn animation show. Even if I've not seen it or know how they sounded, the voice acting here is quite good. That's coming from Daisy Ridley, Margot Robbie, I forgot the actress who plays Mopsy, Mr. Todd, Tommy Brocker, the Mrs. Ticky Winkles, the birds, the goose, yeah, expected. They're all quite good, and I think they fit their voices quite well. The only one who doesn't fit is Peter Rabbit, who's voiced by James Corden. Now, keep in mind, I like James Corden. I think he's funny. Just because he's in the film business doesn't mean he has to be in every film. His voice feels so out of character. It just sounds like, well, James Corden. Seriously, I think Peter really could have been voiced by anyone. Benjamin sounds okay, actually. Donald Gleason and Rose Bryant's performances are great. Even if their roles are in a kids' movie, it feels like they're in a different movie. To be quite frank, that's what makes them stand out. Not their performances in this film is bad. I mean, the performances in this film is pretty good, but it just feels like they're in a different film altogether. I do enjoy Rose Bryant's charm and, heart to it, and I enjoy McGregor's over the top, well, I just enjoy how over the top he is, and how angry he is, and how fast he is too. That's about it. Some of these characters there are probably some that people actually like, but to be fair, the only main characters there are is McGregor, Bee, and the Rabbits. Other characters like Mr. Todd, Tommy Brogger, Tiddlywinkles and Pigsley Bland are just there for like repeated jokes, and that's pretty much what there is. Oh, one more thing before we finish up. If there's one thing that this film does, right and wrong, it's the music, the right stuff. The musical score by by Dominic Lewis is really good. It's atmospheric. It fits. It sounds quite beautiful, and the song, I promise you, it's a very good song, even if James Corden is singing it. But he's not a bad singer, anyways. However, they use random, well-known songs like "We Walk 100,000 Miles," "We Speak No American," and others. They're just generic pop songs. I do like some of these songs, but why put them in the film like called Peter Rabbit? It ruins what makes the books classical and beloved. This one just uses pop songs that are really, really modern. It's just cringy and unnecessary. So yeah, as you can tell, I'm a little mixed. It is a little funny, the animation looks wonderful, the CGI looks appealing, there are some characters I kinda like, the performances and voice acting is pretty good. However, the story plot is very choppy, it's unnecessary, it's dull, unimaginative, makes no sense, cringy, and mostly just juvenile and really unfunny. The CGI could have been replaced with animation that's 10 times better. Most of the characters are just there for jokes, and the voice acting from some of them is bland and just there because they're popular, like James Corden. And of course, the random shot, and with a good score and a good song, they had to pick random songs because apparently Hop did it as well. Fun fact, they used the same song from Hop, the "Why We Speak No American," You'll know which one I mean. So if I had to give the movie a score, it would have to be a 5.9. It's better than, it's better than the Smurfs and like Alvin and the Chipmunks, Garfield. It's definitely better than a Emoji Movie, but it's not quite as great as Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs and the first two Hotel Transylvania movies. I really hope they don't mess up the third one. You may have failed with Peter Rabbit Sony Pictures animation, but you better not fail with Hotel Transylvania 3. Actually, the more I think about it, this movie, I say, is a little better than Smurfs Lost Village, which I thought was just meh. If I had to pick this or that, I think I'll watch Peter Rabbit again, I think. I don't know, it's not really a hard choice, even if it isn't already, but hey, I've got to pick one and the other. Okay, so next might be Pacific Rim Uprising, or Isle of Dogs has an early screening near my cinema, so I might go and see that first and then Pacific Rim Uprising. And then at some point I need to review Ready Player One, which I'm also looking forward to. So anyways, actually I'm curious, let me know what you think of the film below, because I'm quite curious. And what do you think of the controversy about the BlackBerry going into McGregor's mouth, and how parents are offended, and they don't want their kids to see something that has that in it? Just tell me what you think. I'm just curious. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. And until next time, bye for now.